Yes. Question one, describe the core component of virtualization and explain how it varies virtualization technology in a business setting. Well, the core component of virtualization, we talk about the hypervisor, we talk about storage, memory, network, and so let me start with the core component, which is the foundation component, which is um, hypervisor, which is software that allow a single computer to run multiple virtual machine. So it's a foundation component that give permission to a single machine to run operating multiple virtual machine. So we talk about the storage. We know every component, every computer has a storage. It's either the temporal or permanent. A temporal storage, we talk about the hard disks. We talk about permanent, we talk about the hard disks, the HDD drive, SATA drive. So those are responsible for storage. All files and documents are stored those within the disk. So in virtualization, the storage, this disk is stored in a form of file, so that from the original, from the host machine, is stored as is symbolized as its file in the host machine. Then we talk about CPU, which is the brain of the computer that process any logical operation in the machine in the system. We talk about RAM, which the memory, which is usually called as RAM, which is the we talk about the effectiveness of a computer or the fastness of a computer is determined by the RAM, and how big the RAM is and how effective the machine will run. If the RAM is small, it affects the system to be slow. So those are the components. Internet, it allow to connect with other outsiders, and it allow the host machine to connect to each other. It allow devices to communicate. It either be remote or locally. So these are how the components and then in today's business world we talk about one physical machine can run multiple operating virtual machine, like Windows Server can run plenty like file server. It can run virtual machine, so it save cost. It reduce it save cost, electricity cost, something like and hardware cost to pay. So this is a way how the component tech is lavish virtualization in the business setting. So we talk about the question two says server rules and features are critical or for defining a server functioning. Describe the difference between a server rule and a server feature. How does you determine which rule and features a server needs? A server rule and features are critical for defining a server function. As I was saying, the role of a servers and features is it allows a server to give to create groups and to create users and computers, and to allow permission among them to interact. And so those are the key functions. Is allow it manage manage a computer, a users in a domain, and a computers in an organization unit. This is how a server functions. And the features, by adding the domains are the features that adding new domains, a backup domains, users, give permission to users. Those are how group policies. Those are the functions of a domain, a server, to role and server features. Question 3 say domain are a fundamental component for a company infrastructure. Explain the primary purpose of Active Directories and how it facilitates users and resources management within a domain. Give an example of common tasks you can perform using Active Directory. Well, a domain, let me say, a domain is an organizational infrastructure that is a component that all company get it, that to manage their system, that within the organization a domain can allow permissions to computers by managing the domain through the server, and group policies, and Active Directories is a most an important tools that we found in the server that help to manage computer systems and users, how to manage them, both of them at the same time, no in terms of individual, no, at the same time you can get them and manage them as in a infrastructure development like organization. So this is how a domain works. A common task a perform is having a an organization that has 50 users, and these users have to log in into their system for them to get access to their systems. So all those password password policies, how where you log in a domain, where you log in your system more than 3 to 5 times based on how you set the policy, it will deny you. Where you pass the actual number, which is, for example, if you engage a policy into 3, where you try your password more than 2 3, you may say the system will lack for some time, and based on how you organize the domain, and the policy, and how the policy will behave and act towards the way you set it. So this is how domain work in a infrastructural environment. So a domain is an important tool in the Windows server or any organization, company, you know, it's very, very important. I come to understand by going through these schools and understand how systems are controlled and managed by a single server, by an administrator. So I come to realize how all these things we are going, we are doing my practical by creating a domain and assign users and computer in a group and group policies, where I come across a group policy, I say, oh, this is how, a desktop logo and something like that. So a domain is very, very, very essential in an organization that manage an entire groups of people, computers, individuals to work simultaneously in an organization without any conflict, any error, any. So a domain controller and administrator is responsible to control a domain. Yeah, thank you. This is what I learned from my sims from the past week to create a virtual machine, add roles and features, and how are able to understand how group policies, objects, moves, and group policies and how to manage an entire organization. Thank you. Tata, this is what I learned here.